Hello, welcome back. And as always, thank you for joining me. And Cindy and I are, of course, in the midst of a move. You've got me today from what's going to be our dining room in Las Cruces, New Mexico. If you've ever been to that part of the world. Yeah. So I want to take the time today to address a question that's recently come up that's excellent and well worth a video unto itself. So before I do that, I just want to extend the invitation to all of you to please feel welcome to ask questions. There is absolutely nothing too basic or too weird or too far out or too beginner level or anything like that. This is spirituality. So it's deep self inquiry. It lends itself to questions. And even though we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, if you've been tuning in, it's been going on for a while. And it will still be there when we return. So the invitation is always open to please feel welcome to ask questions if you have them. Now, today's question is a follow up to a recent video that we did related to Israel and Hamas and, well, Donald Trump and the United States and Russia and Ukraine, and for that matter, any kind of conflict, geopolitical conflict, war in the world from the standpoint of A Course in Miracles and as Course students. How do we unpack that excellent question, right? What do we do about all of that? Yeah, excellent question. And when we're looking at this material, it doesn't take too long for us to discover that it's really different. Blah, right? That's an understatement. And why wouldn't it be? We don't see things as they are. This course teaches us to learn, to see them as they are. We're flipping our perception right side up. It's upside down right now. So, what do we do about all this? That's an excellent question. And that discussion was posted here on this thread a few days ago. The title is When We're Looking at a Horror Show. So if you want some additional perspective on that, you're welcome to tune into that video. It's one of the most recently published here. So today we're going to look at what is a follow-up to that question. And it's in the context of Israel and Hamas and New World Orders and the question of what does a seer see if there is no world? And people are out trying to create what they refer to as a new world order. And well, how do we as course students unpack that? Well, how about we look right past it? What world? What world order? What new earth? What earth? Yeah, there is no world. The central teaching of A Course in Miracles. Now, if you're tuning into this for the first time, that may come as an abrupt shock, and you may think that we're all nuts. Okay. I mean, clearly, we're not doing what the remaining 7.9 billion people are doing. Actually, there's 8 billion of us, but very few of us, you'll find, are actively practicing this course. You want to know why? There is no world. Are you ready to accept that? Are you ready to accept or even entertain the possibility that everything you've been taught about who and what you are is incorrect? All of the stuff that we do to occupy our time in the world is a distraction. Who's ready for that? That's why there aren't more people doing this. So you're doing it. That should tell you everything you need to know about how close you are to awakening. Keep going. So let's unpack this without going too deeply into what is a centuries old struggle in the Middle East. I mean, as we all are aware, let's dispense with the thought of a new world order the same way we could easily look right past all of the talk about a new earth that we're apparently trying to create. What new earth? This is A Course in Miracles. There is no world, meaning we're perfectly at home in God. This isn't us, and you know that. You know you're not a body. Doesn't mean that you're ready and willing to entertain or accept that idea. And to the extent that you are, great. Also, to the extent that you are not, great. It is what it is right now, but you're still here, which again should tell you every single thing you need to know about how close you really are. I never get tired of saying that because I want you to know that. So let's unpack this notion of seer. What's that? And what does a seer see? When I read the question, that's where my mind goes instantly. What is sight? What is vision? And what does someone whom we've labeled a seer see? And what's a seer? I think that as spiritual practitioners, it's interesting, isn't it, how many terms and labels we have out there. There are terms like seer, seeker, visionary, right? All of that stuff. So, to the extent that any term or a designation or a label is helpful to you, to the extent that it helps you connect with the Holy Spirit, it is very useful indeed. To the extent that it does not, move on, right? So some of these terms, such as visionary, seeker, seer, luminary, those types of things, are highly useful to people. So what we do as students of this course is, okay, let's take stock of this. If this term, if labeling someone a seer is useful to us, great. And by useful, I mean, does it help you set the ego aside? Does it help you to heal the mind and remind you to forgive over and over again? Does it bring your awareness back to the present moment and forgiveness? If it does, use it. The Holy Spirit has great use for it. So, what does a seer see if there is no world? Well, we're invited here throughout A Course in Miracles to let the Holy Spirit in. Our inner teacher, we're invited to let our inner teacher run the show. And by that, we do mean totally, wholly, and completely. Not part of the way. I mean, most of us only give a partial commitment to our own spiritual practice. Think about it. We're invited to go all the way. Yeah, go all the way with it. Let the Holy Spirit see for you. Let him hear for you. Let him speak for you. It'll look like you're doing all the talking. It'll look like that to you. It'll look like that to other people too. It'll look like we're living normal life, but we're not attempting to run the show. Our inner teacher is. And that is a huge difference. All of our attempted manipulations, our imaginations, and all of the stuff, stuff that we attempt to do ends up not satisfying. We may have some temporary satisfaction or temporary benefit, which doesn't last, and we wind up in the same place, looking, seeking. We're invited to let the Holy Spirit see for us. What do we then see? Well, we don't see things the same, do we? If you're doing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about from experience, which is the best teacher of all. The Holy Spirit doesn't see our separation that made. We've made it all up. He looks right past that. He looks past artificial barriers like skin. He looks past bodies, looks past political divisions, looks past race and gender and ethnicity. We're not a body. Wow, right? He looks past all of that to the truth of what we are. And should we allow him to see for us, we do the same. It's about allowing that, allowing truth to be just as it is. Vision, as described in A Course in Miracles, is the vision of Christ, the vision of the Holy Spirit. Overlooking or looking past or beyond, if you prefer, all of our separation and division, including space, time, planets, universes, and stuff. There is no separation of any kind. We're invited to let the Holy Spirit see for us, hear for us, speak for us. Yes, that seems threatening. It's the ego that's threatened. All of our resistance and expected, obviously, on the path is the ego attempting to preserve its fragile existence. Well, I'll tell you what existence? What ego? There's no separation of any kind. How can there be an individual? How can there be an ego? It's nothing. It's nothing. But we want to make it something. We want to keep our precious individuality, all of our own labels. Do we label ourselves a seer? Do we label ourselves a blind man fumbling about in the darkness? Do we label ourselves this? Do we label ourselves that? Do we label someone else this, someone else that? We want to keep all of these artificially imposed divisions, and not a single one of them is real. That was one of the themes of this most recent conversation. An illusion is an illusion. A world order is an illusion. What world order? What world? So we're invited to look with the Holy Spirit. He'll show us. And what we're being led to is what the Course refers to as the real world. Now, there is no world. The term real world is put here in A Course in Miracles for our learning purposes. It simply is the world forgiven completely of all illusions, totally 100% forgiven. And it's described here in the Course as something so lovely that well, it takes our breath away, so to speak. It's magnificent and amazing and a picture of complete loveliness that only lasts a fraction of a second before God takes the final step himself, when we see this so-called real world, what that is the world completely forgiven. In that very moment, we awaken. Our perception is completely clarified. We see things as they are at that point, and God takes the final step himself. In other words, we're awakened. That's enlightenment, that's liberation, realizing God, whatever you want to call it. And of course, different spiritual traditions here in the world can and do call it different things. So let the Holy Spirit see for you. What will you see? The world forgiven completely. Mm, we all appear to live in different parts of the world, in different societies, undergoing different stuff politically. I mean, one part of the world may be embroiled in a centuries long conflict that simply has a new iteration. But what is all conflict? It all appears to look different. It's the same mistake. You're not separate from your brother. There is no separation of any kind. There's one problem, separation. And therefore, there's one solution. You're learning that solution right here as you study and practice this course. So let the Holy Spirit guide you. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. Say it with me. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. That's what we do. Do we find it difficult in the moment? Yeah, perhaps. Sometimes. But we really do. And that is part of the path. Understand that anything that is not wholly joyous, I mean, 100% completely and totally joyous, is in fact an opportunity to forgive. So let's remember that and remember to allow the Holy Spirit to guide us to the extent that you are able to do that today and every day. Do just that. So I hope this has been of help to you. Thank you again for the question. They're always most welcome. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that. That's the prompt in the corner of your screen. Click that icon and join us. And again, questions are always more than welcome. So please feel welcome if you have them to leave them in the comment thread here in YouTube. I do check them, and several videos appear each week, even here as we're in the midst of a move without all of our regular furniture. Yeah, but the Holy Spirit is still there. So connect with it. Okay. Thank you.